There are so many Trump schemes going on right now, swirling around the administration, threatening to topple it, that we need a scandalometer. We need a scandalometer. I try to keep track of it for you right here on Legal AF and on the Midas Touch Network. I do a show on Midas on Tuesday nights, Popok Live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Join me there. In this most recent episode, I talked about a number of the major scandals on the way to Donald Trump selling America and influence peddling throughout the Arab world. But when he comes home, and he's now home, he's got to deal with the cryptocurrency meme selling scheme that he's doing it not out of the back of a van, but in the front door of the Oval Office, the Qatar money laundering and tax evasion scheme by way of a $400 million plane, and other scandals du jour around this administration. Listen, this isn't just the first 110 days of this administration. This is going to be the first 4,000 days of the administration. Same thing. And I report on it on Popok Live. Take a listen. Let me move on to gifts and grifts and planes and crypto. Quick. I've done plenty of hot takes. You can find my library and my playlist on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. And I recommend and commend you to go over there. Donald Trump figured out early on, before he even became president the second time, that people wanted to buy a piece of him. And cryptocurrency was the best way to do it because it's almost untraceable and digital wallets are out there. And so this is a way to sell the presidency. He figured that out. And so he and his sons, including Barron, apparently, or as I like to call the three sons, three Fredos of the crime family. I never knew a crime family that actually had three Fredos: Barron, Eric, and Don Jr. They get into the cryptocurrency business because why else? They're playboy ne'er-do-wells who live off daddy's money. And so they had nothing better to do. Steve Witkoff, you're in my shadow Secretary of State. Forget Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is just window dressing. He's not really the Secretary of State. I don't care what his official portrait says. I don't care what his office says. The Secretary of State for America is Donald Trump's golfing buddy, Steve Witkoff. He's the guy that meets with Putin, not Marco Rubio. He's the guy that met with Hamas, not Marco Rubio. He's the one that negotiated with the Yemenis to stop the Houthis from firing on U.S. ships, not Marco Rubio. Steve Witkoff, right? And I think Steve Witkoff, that he might have gone to the Pope funeral. So that guy got Donald Trump and his family into crypto. He introduced them to two crypto bros, one who was in prison. I'm not making this up. And they created World Liberty Financial. That was like their first foray, along with the predecessor, the precursor to cryptocurrency and meme coins, non-fungible tokens, NFTs. Remember when he was selling those, cartoonish figures of Donald Trump and all sorts of cosplay that you too could buy and then lose value with? Besides the sneakers in the back of the van, besides the Bibles, all of that. It just grift, kleptocracy. And then he figured out meme coins, which is the cryptocurrency equivalent of NFTs. Memes, him dressed as whoever, and has no value behind it. There's nothing behind it. It's just people it's like a novelty crypto. Which is, I think, recorded on the blockchain, but it's still a novelty. And he doesn't care about the value of it, even though he's pumping and dumping it. Big dinner, top 250 wallets that have my meme coin. I'll pick the best meme. Oh, you're so close. An email that went to one of these people. Oh, you're so close. You may be in the top 250. Top 20, you get to actually sit at his table. All they want is the VIG. They just want the volume, the sale, the velocity, because he's created the liquidity pool that's necessary because there's a stock market with a ticker price and you can figure out, right now this stock is trading at whatever in real time. There's no stock market or market equivalent in crypto. There's no market equivalent in bonds either. So you need market makers to make the market to face off against the buy and the sell. And you need a pool of liquidity. He controls the pool of liquidity. And so he controls the market and he gets a commission on the buy and the sell. So that's the pump and dump. And then his sons just formed a new company, zero track record, formed in March to be a crypto miner, right? To use huge data processing facilities and huge amounts of electric and water and cooling to create a cryptocurrency from an algorithm using a math formula. That's mining. So when you think mining, don't think coal miners of Pennsylvania. Think, just a field of supercomputers and servers, in a room somewhere. And that's the business that they're in for like 10 minutes. Then they found a shell. Well, I don't know if it's a shell company, but it's a small publicly traded company based in Vegas called Griffin that was trading for $1. And it was an easy way to go fast public and sell their bullshit to the investing market. So they merged with Griffin today, and they started trading as American Bitcoin, ABTC. Don't buy the stock. I'm not touting it. I'm not roaring kitty. I'm just telling you what it's trading as. It's just another way to sell Trump. You want to curry favor with Trump? Do a real estate deal with him. You don't have enough money for a real estate deal? Buy $100,000 worth of meme coins or cryptocurrency or other things, right? We've already got it's a scandal a day with this administration, like SoftBank is going to take in an investment, but it's going to be done through stable coins that are controlled by Donald Trump so that he gets a percentage while he's the president of the United States. This is why the Democrats in the Senate are so up in arms. This is why there's legislation that's been proposed to impeach Donald Trump, among other things, for this very reason. So this is how he's grifting. And the Qatar plane thing is just a tax evasion scheme. It's just a money laundering scheme. Here's what happened. End of April, the Trump family announces that they cut a deal in Qatar. Some people say it's Qatar, but I'm from the Qatar school. In Qatar, which is that country that's our frenemy that also put money in the pockets of terrorists that harm the Americans. But leave that out for a minute. And it was also Pam Bondi, my Attorney General. She used to lobby for Qatar. And so Qatar and the Trump family do a deal, $5 billion with a B deal to develop a golf course on the water somewhere in Qatar. That's announced at the end of April, $5 billion. 10 days later, Qatar decides to give effectively a success fee to Donald Trump and his family of a $400 million 13-year-old jumbo jet. If I'm the investors with Donald Trump, because he never uses his own money, it's always other people's money. So he's got limited partners for that investment. I would say, why is there money going away from the investment that should have come to our bottom line? Where's my $400 million? Why does he get the $400 million in the form of a plane? So that was a way to screw the investors and put the money only in Don. Because to paraphrase when George Steinbrenner of the New York Yankees was alive, and the Yankees are owned as a limited partnership as well. And the joke was, there is no more limited partner than a limited partner of George Steinbrenner. There is no more limited partner than a limited partner who's in business with Donald Trump. You are about as limited as he'll just take your money. Thank you very much. But you have no say about anything else. And what would appear to be a breach of fiduciary duty that you took money away from the investment is just touted as, we're getting a new Air Force One, but we're not really. First of all, there is an Air Force One that's being built. It's just not going to be ready in time. That's what Boeing is working on. It's not going to be ready in time for this administration, but it's already under construction. It takes years to build. It's got to be bomb proof. It's got to survive a nuclear blast. It has to be bug free. I mean that in every way. Okay. It has to be tested before you can put the president and the cabinet inside of it. Okay. So we're years away from that. And this is not a fix to get a loaner plane from Donald Trump, which he's going to take with him when he leaves to the presidential library. It's only going to be temporarily at our expense, but they'll never be able to do it in time because there's entire statutes that govern and protocol that govern how safe this has to be made. It's like he can't ride around. It's like if it was a limousine. That's why there's a beast. It has to be bulletproof and armored and bomb-proof. You can't just go, hey, I just went down to my local dealership and they gave me a deal in a Suburban and I'm going to start using it as the president. That's not how that works. So it's just a tax dodge to get a gift over. So when he's no longer president, his Trump Force One, which is old, so he can retire it and use this plane while you and I spend hundreds of millions of dollars a month preparing and maintaining this monstrosity. I got an idea. I thought you wanted to save money for the American people. Fly around in Air Force One the way it is. How about that? Big, beautiful baby blue plane, the symbol of power for America around the world. Just use that and stop trying to do a money laundering scheme. And now Qatar's backing off too. They're like, well, we haven't really figured it all out yet. And the contract's not signed and we're still waiting for the White House. That's where all the leaks started coming out. Welcome back. Popok Live. Yep, me. I sit at the intersection of law and politics, and I bring you a curated podcast out of my own fevered imagination. Hopefully that people enjoy just as much as I love doing it. Join me Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Midas Touch Network, and then I bring clips over here so you can have one-stop shopping on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. Legal AF, the YouTube channel, by the way, just ended up and landed in the top 100 of a new YouTube poll of all podcasts. The channel and me, 90. We placed 3 shows in the top 100. It is crazy. Midas Touch at number 5, Legal AF at number 64, and Popok Intersection at number 90. Crazy on the inaugural poll released by YouTube. It's all because of you. We appreciate each and every one of you. Until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.